Constantinople, a name whispered with awe for centuries, a beacon of civilization at the crossroads of East and West. Founded by Emperor Constantine in 330 AD, Constantinople quickly rose to prominence. It became the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire. The city's strategic location on the Bosporus Strait made it a vital hub for trade and cultural exchange. Ships laden with silk, spices and knowledge flowed through its bustling harbours. Constantinople's wealth and grandeur became legendary, attracting merchants and adventurers from far and wide. Within its towering walls, emperors ruled from opulent palaces. Scholars debated in renowned academies. Architects and artisans crafted breathtaking mosaics and soaring domes that adorned magnificent churches. But by the 15th century, a shadow had fallen over the once mighty city. The Byzantine Empire, once a vast and powerful realm, had shrunk to a shadow of its former glory. By the 15th century, the empire consisted of little more than the city of Constantinople itself and a few scattered territories in Greece. Emperor Constantine VI, a capable but desperate ruler, ascended the throne in 1449. He inherited a crumbling empire, its treasury depleted, its armies weak, and its people demoralized. Constantine knew that the Ottomans, under their ambitious Sultan Mehmed II, posed an existential threat to his empire. Desperate for aid, Constantine VI appealed to the West for help. He pleaded with the Pope and the rulers of Western Europe, reminding them of Constantinople's importance as a bulwark of Christendom against the rising tide of Islam. However, Europe, still recovering from the 100 Years' War and plagued by internal divisions, was slow to respond. Constantinople stood alone, facing the full might of the Ottoman Empire. Mehmed II, known as the Conqueror, was a ruler of extraordinary ambition and determination. He ascended to the Ottoman throne at the young age of 19, inheriting a powerful empire and a burning desire to make his mark on history. Mehmed was obsessed with Constantinople. He saw its capture as his destiny, a way to cement his legacy as a great conqueror and to fulfill the prophecy of Islam. From a young age, Mehmed had immersed himself in history and military strategy. He studied the tactics of great conquerors like Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. Mehmed was determined to learn from the failures of his predecessors, who had tried and failed to capture Constantinople in the past. The young Sultan poured all his energy and resources into preparing for the siege. The citizens of Constantinople watched with growing apprehension as the Ottoman army approached their city. Constantinople, however, was a city built to withstand sieges. Its formidable defences had repelled countless attacks over the centuries. The city was protected by a triple line of walls, considered some of the most impressive fortifications in the known world. Behind these imposing walls, the defenders of Constantinople prepared for the inevitable siege. Emperor Constantine VI, a skilled soldier and a charismatic leader, rallied his outnumbered troops, inspiring them to fight for their faith, their families, and the legacy of their city. The defenders of Constantinople were a diverse group, united by their determination to defend their city. Among them were legendary figures like Giovanni Giustiniani, a skilled Genoese soldier entrusted with the defense of the land walls. In the spring of 1453, the Ottoman army, a vast sea of men and horses, encamped outside the walls of Constantinople. Mehmed II, a shrewd strategist, had chosen his moment well. He knew that Constantinople's defences, though formidable, were not impregnable. Mehmed's secret weapon was his artillery. He had commissioned the construction of massive cannons, the likes of which had never been seen before. These behemoths, forged by Hungarian and Ottoman master gunsmiths, were capable of hurling enormous stone balls with terrifying force. The most famous of these cannons was the basilica, a monstrous weapon capable of firing a 500-pound stone ball over a mile. The roar of the Ottoman cannons shattered the morning silence, signalling the start of the siege. The ground shook as the massive stone balls smashed against the city walls. The defenders watched in awe and terror as the once impenetrable walls crumbled under the relentless bombardment. Day after day, the Ottoman cannons pounded the city walls. The walls of Constantinople, once symbols of impregnability, were slowly being reduced to rubble. As the siege wore on, life in Constantinople became a desperate struggle for survival. The relentless Ottoman bombardment turned the city into a living hell. Buildings collapsed, streets were reduced to rubble, and fires raged out of control. Food and water became scarce, and disease spread through the cramped and unsanitary conditions. Fear and despair gripped the hearts of many, but the spirit of resistance endured. The defenders, their numbers dwindling, fought with the courage of desperation, knowing that the fate of their city, their families, and their faith hung in the balance. Emperor Constantine II, his armor dented and his face grimed with soot and exhaustion, remained a beacon of hope for his people. He knew that the odds of victory were slim, but he was determined to fight to the very end. After weeks of relentless bombardment, Mehmed II decided to launch his final assault. He chose May 29th, 1453, a Tuesday, as the day of destiny. The Ottoman soldiers, whipped into a frenzy by religious fervour and the promise of plunder, surged towards the city walls. The defenders of Constantinople, exhausted and outnumbered, braced themselves for the final onslaught. At dawn, the Ottoman army unleashed a massive assault on the weakened defences of Constantinople. Wave after wave of attackers charged towards the city walls, their war cries echoing through the morning mist. The defenders, their backs against the wall, fought with the ferocity of cornered animals. The battle raged for hours. The defenders, inspired by the courage of their emperor and their comrades, fought with almost superhuman strength. But the defenders were tiring, their numbers dwindling with every passing hour. With the Ottoman army pouring through the breached gate, Emperor Constantine V, realizing that the end was near, rallied his remaining men for one last, desperate stand. He cast aside his imperial regalia, drew his sword, and charged into the thick of the fighting, determined to die with his men. His final moments were lost in the chaos of battle, his body never recovered. The fall of the emperor signaled the end for Constantinople. The Ottoman soldiers, sensing victory, surged through the streets, overwhelming the remaining pockets of resistance. The city, once a beacon of civilization, descended into chaos. Churches were desecrated, homes were looted, and the streets were filled with the sounds of violence and despair. The once proud city, adorned with centuries of art and culture, was sacked and plundered by the victorious Ottoman army. With the capture of Constantinople, Mehmed II achieved what had eluded his predecessors for centuries, the conquest of the most prized city in the Christian world. The fall of Constantinople sent shockwaves through Europe and the Middle East, marking a seismic shift in the balance of power. The Ottoman Empire, with its capital in Constantinople, was poised to become a dominant force in the region. Mehmed II, a shrewd statesman as well as a skilled conqueror, set about consolidating his gains and transforming Constantinople into a worthy capital for his empire. He encouraged his Muslim subjects to settle in the city, offering them incentives and opportunities. He also extended tolerance to the Christian population, allowing them to practice their faith and maintain some of their traditions. The Ottoman Empire, with its control of Constantinople and the surrounding waterways, became a major player in the lucrative trade routes between East and West. The rise of the Ottoman Empire, with Constantinople at its heart, ushered in a new era in the history of the Eastern Mediterranean. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 was a watershed moment in world history, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a new one. The Byzantine Empire, the last vestige of the Roman Empire, was extinguished, and the Ottoman Empire, a rising power fueled by Islamic faith and territorial ambition, rose to take its place. The fall of Constantinople had far-reaching consequences. It shifted the balance of power in the Eastern Mediterranean, paving the way for the rise of the Ottoman Empire as a major power. It also had profound religious and cultural implications, marking a turning point in the relationship between Islam and Christianity. The fall of Constantinople also had a significant impact on the course of Western European history. The loss of this vital Christian city to the Ottomans sent shockwaves through Europe, contributing to a sense of insecurity and a desire to find new sea routes to the east. Today, the legacy of Constantinople, now Istanbul, is a testament to the enduring power